Let's talk more now about what is going on. Gunjan Banerji is the lead writer for Markets Live at the Wall Street Journal and, of course, a CNBC contributor. Gunjan, great to have you on. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Happy Thanksgiving.
What are the retail investors investing in?
I think it's really been the year of the retail investor. We have never seen them quite as active as they are in markets this year. Everyday Americans, mom and pop investors, they've been pouring into broad-based ETFs. Think SPY, right? The Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. They've been buying gold. They're even sticking with the AI trade, which I think is really interesting because we are seeing some doubts creep in among institutional investors about how long this AI frenzy can continue. But individual investors, they are sticking with the AI trade, and they're sticking with the stock market. We are seeing purchases track 50% above levels last year.
I'm afraid to ask this question because I think I know what you're going to say. Are retail investors leveraging up?
They are. And I feel like every time I talk to you, there is more and more leverage in the system. And we saw the downside of that in the market over the past few weeks, right? Where a lot of these crypto leverage trades started rippling into the stock market and causing volatility there. But leverage, take it brokerage accounts, crossed $1.1 trillion recently. That's the highest level in records going back to the 1990s.
And I want to be clear, and I'm not advocating anybody borrow money or take leverage to buy equities or whatever, but they've made money. They've worked. I mean, these people, for the most part, with the exception of the April tariff lows and the recent rattling we saw, would imagine these highly leveraged retail traders have done very well.
And I think that's why a lot of them have stuck to these leveraged ETFs throughout the recent volatility. Assets in those funds crossed $140 billion recently. However, that's a trade that works until it doesn't work, and we saw it blow up with crypto recently. And for stocks, we just haven't quite seen that test yet, but those leveraged crypto trades have not fared well over the past month.
Do we know, and I hate to put you on the spot, but do we know if the people buying crypto are the same people buying specific stocks? Do they overlap?
Well, crypto is popular with a lot of individual investors, right? And they're feeling the brunt of that right now. However, if you've stuck to the stock market, I think individual investors walking into Thanksgiving weekend with their families, a lot of them are feeling pretty good about the market, right? If they've been careful about the level of speculation they're doing in markets this year, they're up, 15% on the S&P 500?
Yes, and that is great. And we want everybody to make money, not lose money. And you can sit around the table at Thanksgiving. You can brag to your family how smart you are. But if you had bought most other global markets in the world in U.S. dollars, you've actually done better than just buying the S&P 500 here.
That's fair.
It's been a global reflation rally.
It has. But take a look at the returns in the U.S. market the past 2 years. I mean, we're at 15% this year. That's after 2 years of blockbuster returns. That was the best 2 years for markets in a quarter century. So if you've owned the U.S. market, I don't think you can complain. A lot of individual investors do.
So I think the shorter Gunjan headline is a lot of people are going to be bragging around the Thanksgiving, and maybe rightfully so, around the Thanksgiving table, right?
I think so.
Because they've done well. When you see a change, let us know. We'll get you back on because we want to know if people are starting to dump out of certain things.
Well, I think they are dumping some of those hot momentum stocks. Think MicroStrategy, right? Think Robinhood stock. Think Palantir. Those are down double digits in November. So a lot of those retail favorites have gotten crushed. But that buying in broader ETFs has persisted. There have been 10 consecutive weeks of inflows into U.S. ETFs.